knowing me, I'm very competitive. I wanted to be like, what else can I do? And my daughter was growing older, and they loved me as a receptionist. And sitting there, I'd be like, okay, answering phone calls, but then I'll be like, oh, what else can I help you with in the administrative office? Oh, they're like, oh, we're working on this proposal. Can you help? I'm like, I would love to,
Of course.
because I want to learn more. I'm always very curious about different things that that interest me, and insurance was one of them because it was personal to me now. And through that, I got promoted to be an insurance client relations manager.
This is not just about business, it's about voice, about boundaries, and building something that outlives you.
This is She Means Business. A podcast created for women building real legacies. Here, stories meet strategy. We spotlight the people behind the brands, the decisions behind the success, and the lessons you can actually use. You will learn tools, resources, and honest conversations from founders, leaders, and visionaries shaping what business looks like now. If you're building something that matters, you are in the right place. Welcome to She Means Business.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jacqueline Andrea. I am a photographer here in Las Vegas, and I am also the founder of She Means Business magazine. And today I have a very special guest. But before we go to our gorgeous and special guest, I want to mention that our magazine for March is going to be out this weekend, and I want you to pick up a copy. If you want to read the magazine, please go ahead and do it. We have an interactive digital magazine, and I want to give you a little bit of the stats. We are a little bit over 8,000 readers in that very first issue, which we are so freaking proud of, because to be honest with you, I felt at the beginning that only my mom, my dad, and my sisters were going to read it, but apparently not. So thank you everyone that has been so supportive with She Means Business magazine and everything that we are creating around there. I know that is completely different with what you've seen in magazines, but that is the purpose. So let's start with today, because today I'm joined by the founder and president of KimaniBrooks Consulting, a dynamic public relationships and marketing firm. She is here to share her story, her legacy, and the powerful mission behind her work. Miss Angela Brooks. Hi.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to have our talk today.
Angela, first of all, I want to say that you look gorgeous. You always do. But I want to confess that when I saw you walking into the studio, I saw your hair and I got so jealous, because I am, in my head, I'm curly, you know, like in my inside.
I really
love your hair, yes.
Oh, you should embrace it, especially
I am not.
right now. You should embrace it.
I know, you're gorgeous, and I want to learn more about you. And I know there might be some people that also that don't know about who you are and what you do, and that's what we're here for, to raise awareness on who Angela Brooks is. So tell me about you, Angela.
So I was originally born and raised in Kenya. I went to school in Kenya and worked there for a little bit, and then I worked with an organization in Kenya that did architecture and environmental structure. Called Give Africa. So through that was my first job after college, and I ended up going to work for them in England. So I was back and forth, helping them with administrative positions, creating opening offices around their Africa. Oh. So I traveled in Africa, opened a few, and then I was also in England and also in Holland for a few years.
Wow.
And then met my husband, and then we moved to the US, and then we've been here for almost, I say, 18 years.
Wow.
So when I moved here, I had just had a baby. And my husband is a hydrogeologist. That's the reason we moved to Vegas. So at the time, they had the Yucca Mountain project, and they were looking for hydrogeologists. And they kept looking, and before they could actually start the project, they needed a professional, a hydrogeologist in the team. And a friend of ours reached out to us when we were still back in Kenya, told my husband about the opportunity. And so he came, and after 3 weeks he came back and said, hey, we're moving to Vegas. Wow. So we actually I moved to Chicago because that's where his dad was, because I had a little baby. And he came here, was here for a month, and then after we moved in the summer of 2008 or 9, around that time. And so I was a stay-at-home mom because I did not know anyone in the here in Vegas.
You were
And
new here.
yeah, and I was a mom, and trying to find a babysitter was so hard. Was working, it kind of felt like you're working for the babysitter, the money I was going to be working for. So I told my husband, how about I stay home, you have a job, and when she turns into be like 3 years and she's going to daycare or, some kindergarten, I can start work. But knowing me, I get bored so easily. I'm not a person to stay home. And I was like, how many times can I clean that kitchen or that room? How many times can I do spring cleaning in the house? So when she turned to be 3.5, I decided to look for a job. So just to give me something to do during, when she was in daycare for those 3 hours. So I went in and I got hired as a receptionist for an insurance company here in town, was called InsureCorp. And they did life insurance benefits. And so I was a receptionist. And through that, I started learning about insurance because I would take my daughter to the pediatrician and I would get a bill. And I wondered, why am I getting this bill when I paid at the doctor's? And I was like, what is an EOB? And because where I come from in Kenya, we have free insurance and
so
free
you were
medical.
not used to
I
this.
wasn't used to getting a bill unless you wanted to do like the private concierge that you would pay some kind of money to be on that kind of status. So through that, I started asking my boss. I'm like, what is an AOB? Can you explain it to me? So he started explaining it to me. And I was like, he told me, this is what we do here. We actually educate our clients on what, when they get an insurance bill, we help them, kind of work with insurance companies and also help them come up with insurance programs that work for the employees.
Oh, wow.
And so I got interested in that. And knowing me, I'm very competitive. I wanted to be like, what else can I do? And my daughter was growing older, and they loved me as a receptionist. And sitting there, I'd be like, okay, answering phone calls, but then I'll be like, oh, what else can I help you with in the administrative office? Oh, they're like, oh, we're working on this proposal. Can you help? I'm like, I would love to,
Of course.
because I want to learn more. I'm always very curious about different things that that interest me, and insurance was one of them because it was personal to me now. And through that, I got promoted to be an insurance client relations manager, and so I got promoted, and which was amazing. And through that, I got to travel with my company and my boss, and we worked with a few clients here in town. Wolfgang Park was one of our clients. They're on the Strip. We also worked with the Palms Casino, and then opening up the M Resort from the ground. Yeah, when we were opening up, so we did all their benefits. So through that, I did.
Huge clients.
It was huge clients and private clients as well, and restaurants. Getting to know about restaurants. So my job was to go in after we put together the benefits packages, sit down with employees, kind of educate them on, you have this kind of plans, and if you're healthy, because sometimes you don't know, and sometimes an insurance company will tell you, oh, you need to get this amount, but sometimes you don't need that, all that. But if your family is healthy and you're on a budget, what can actually is good for you,
Work for the family.
for the family, because you also have other bills that you have to pay. So I did that for about 5.5 years, and then I kind of transitioned out of that when the company was being bought by a bigger company from Florida. So now they're known as Brown and Brown.
Oh, wow.
And through that, I was like, what else do I want to do? And I've always loved philanthropy. And so I started donating my time at Opportunity Village, and that was through my contact at my old job, because my friend Diane has had a son, and the son had a disability, and he would go to the Opportunity Village where they give people with disabilities opportunities to be there for a day and do mission and help them to put together like papers or maybe baskets, like
be part of the workforce.
Yeah, like a
pretty
workforce
much.
for them. Like, so when you go to, like, example, you go to Costco, Like on a Christmas Day or Valentine's Day, you find those beautiful baskets. Some of them are done by the kids from Opportunity Village. And then also they would do, what I found out was Elvis, when he was performing here, all those scarves he would wear and throw it to the crowd.
Yeah. It was
he when he first came here, he found about Opportunity Village, and he had all his scarves made by Opportunity Village. And the ladies, we call them OVIPs. They would kiss it after they saw them. They would kiss it, and then he give it to So he would pack them, and then they would be thrown out to his crowd and people who came to see the show, and that's how they made money through that. So through Opportunity Village, I learned about giving back, and I worked with them as donor database person, because they hired me to come in and look at the system, because see where when you are a donor and you're donating some money, and what does your profile look like? So at the time when they're looking to hire someone, the contract was for a year, and they wanted to hire me as a donor perfect manager to come in and look at everything that was going in, because they're planning, gearing up to raise $136 million to create a space for people with disabilities. Like if you have a family member and you take them to the park and they have the swing sets, not all of the people with disabilities can be on those swing sets because they're dangerous. So we had a donor who was like, I can give this, I can match this money, but we need to raise more because I want to create that space for my son, and that is favorite thing to do. So so that's how I was hired. And then after 1 year, I transitioned off and I got hired at St. Jude's Ranch for Children.
So everything was the philanthropy.
The philanthropy part of it, yeah.
But it was not PR just yet.
Not PR just yet. But my background is in business communication and marketing as well. But
of course it
took
is.
But my journey in career, it took me different ways, and it landed me to philanthropy. And then after my first year contract with Opportunity Village, ended up attending the Las Vegas, it's the Las Vegas Chamber of Commerce.
Okay.
They have the leadership program.
Yes.
So they had one which is called the Advanced Leadership, and it's where they have all the CEOs, the COOs, owners of businesses take a class for a year for that to learn.
Okay.
And I did not have the money because it started at $5,000 to join the class.
Okay.
So I went in and asked them for sponsorship. Would there be a sponsorship opportunity, because I just finished my contract with Opportunity Village, and they would not be the one sponsoring me, but I was interested in that because that's how I learned about the program being there. And so I wrote an email to the committee at the chamber, and they wrote back and said, okay, these are the requirements you need to do. You need to give us.
So
there was a scholarship.
What?
Yeah, and I was like, okay. So they said, well, you have 3 weeks because before we start, because you're starting in late. If you can get us 7 references from distinguished people that have worked with you, know you, all the things. And through my Rotary, because I was a Rotary Club member, and I reached out to all the people I knew, and I was like, this is what I need. I prayed about it, and thank God I got the references, and then I ended up getting the sponsorship to be on the program. That was in 2016, a whole year. I tell you, it's the best program if you ever have an opportunity to do it. Now they call it the Las Vegas Leadership program. I don't know if they still have the advanced program.
And is there a limit of age or
no? There's no limit. No limit of age, and I think it starts at 2,500.
Okay.
Yeah, for the program, and yes.
But I love that you didn't wait for the opportunity. You actually asked for it. And, and I learned that lately because I'm not a big asker, but I learned that that's a very good way to get things, especially opportunities. Right? Like sometimes the opportunities are knocked at the door. There are usually something that you need to go for. And hey, by the way, I want this.
It's
what about
there.
that? Yeah.
It might be there, and
It might be there.
and you don't know. And I now my philosophy is I'll ask. If I don't get it, I didn't have it to begin with, and if I
Right.
get it, hey, it's a bonus. I'm like,
I love
yeah,
that.
me.
I love that. Okay, I'm
Yeah.
taking notes on that because I feel that that will help a lot of people that that are looking to start a business or they're already in business. And I learned this through my photography mentor that she always say this. She said, ask, serve, right?
Yeah.
So all you have to do is ask, and then everything is gonna come if it is yours. So
And if it's yours, it's meant for you. It will come.
yeah, and it's kind of that maturity that you build, right?
Yeah,
That's amazing.
also if you end up getting a no, the way I look at it before when I would get a no, I'd be like so upset and I, beat myself. I'm frustrated. I said, what did I not do? What can I, So now when I get a no, it's a client that I want or somebody I want to work with, and they come back and say, no, I call it, okay, it's not a no. It's like, it's not at the right time, I know it's not it's like the door is not closed. It means not at this time
or not that direction.
not
right?
that direction. Yeah. And also learning to build boundaries. I've learned to do that too, because working with nonprofits here in town, from Opportunity Village to St. Jude's Ranch for Children, and I worked as an executive assistant for the CEO. That's a time that the charity had 2 board members here in Texas and Las Vegas. And so we had 2 locations. I would have to travel with the CEO for those. And they had 2 board members, 2 different boards. And after working with them for 2.5 years, they ended up deciding to separate, and which was a good decision. But still, as that, I still worked with the board chairman as we worked along to find out, okay, who are we going to get in to take over the CEO's position, because he kind of transitioned out because of he had a family emergency with his family, so he moved back to North Carolina. So through that, I worked with the board chairman for almost a year, and nobody knew we did not have a CEO, anybody like that, executive. And then the board looking to hire somebody, and then ended up finding Christina Vela.
Okay.
And so she got hired, and she's been amazing. And I kind of transitioned her in, but she had worked with St. Jude before for 3 years.
So she had experience.
Yeah,
in
2010
that,
to 2013, and then transitioned to go do something else. But then she came back. But when she came back, we had new donors. So kind of my job was to kind of transition her again, welcome, kind of introduce her to the donors.
That's something you do very well.
Yeah, and I'm glad, and I say thank God that I have that kind of power. I call it my superpower.
It is a superpower. It is a superpower.
Like, I love connecting and collaborating with people, because when I took that class with the chamber, I found out that my superpower was connection. Connecting people, because we did this big, long survey about yourself. Who are you as a person? Forget about what you have, what you do. And when it came together, my result was I'm a connector. And I've always been, but I never thought it that way. But then after that, kind of started sinking in, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to embrace it, because that's who I am. And some people sometimes think I'm too much, and I would dim my light a little bit, because they feel like, oh. But then I'm like, why am I dimming my light? And I love to do what I love to do. And now sometimes I'll meet people like, oh, I see you everywhere. You're on this, you're on this.
Yeah,
and that would bug me. And I'm like, well, okay, am I doing too much? Should I not be doing too much? But those are the things that I love to do,
Yeah.
And I am a mom and I'm a wife. But then there are other things before I became a mom and I became a wife.
Always been that power
I have
connector.
always been that person. That
Yes.
doesn't mean because now I'm this,
Right.
I should dim this other side.
Yeah.
And for a while that it kind of took a toll on me. And after
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I feel that there is something I want to dig in, because
Yeah.
you're very good about talking and about other people and how amazing they are. But I want to know more who Angela is. But we're gonna make a quick pause here. We're
Yeah.
gonna be back in 2 seconds.
Thank you to our partners who make these conversations possible.
We are back, and we want to thank everyone that is supporting this She Means Business podcast, She Means Business magazine, all the sponsors. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Because of you guys, things are happening. So thank you. And because of people that are watching us and people that are reading us, don't forget that the interactive digital magazine is going to be out March 1st for the second issue of She Means Business magazine. You'll just go to shemeansbusinessmag.com and make sure that you read us and tell us how you feel about the magazine. We really want to hear about you. So we're coming back from this pause, and we are talking with Angela Brooks from Kimani Consulting. And well, you were sharing all these superpowers that you have, and I think it's totally on point. It's definitely you being a power connector is exactly where your superpower is, and that's how we met, pretty much, right?
It's true.
So I love that, and I can tell you are a PR person, but I want to know more about who you are as a business. Okay, so we have a Kimani Brooks, and I'm very, very curious about the name. Tell me about Kimani Brooks.
So Kimani Brooks came about end of 2024. And I was working for an advertising and marketing company for about 4.5 years. And it was a women-owned company. I learned so much when I was there. But after COVID, she wanted to close because she was having such a hard time. And she hadn't been in business for about it was going to be 27 years. And she was trying to kind of downsize a little bit. But after COVID, everything kind of, she was done with it. You know, she didn't have the energy. She didn't have the love for it anymore. So she kind of closed the organization, the company. And so when I left, I still had contacts from people who would call me like, hey, I know you left, but can you still help me with this? Because I knew yeah. And that's the power of, if you know you're good at your job and you're loyal. And because when I left, I actually sent all the clients a really good email, copied my boss, just letting them know, hey, I know we're transitioning, but if there's ever anything that you ever need, and if you know someone might be needing my skill set and experience, please feel free to forward my information or call me if I can help you in the near future. And then I started getting calls like, hey, can you help me with this? And I was like, oh.
Yes, because you built that relationship with your clients where they were like so comfortable saying, hey, can you help me with this? Right?
Yeah. So I started doing it. At first, I did it a little bit pro bono, and then I was like, I may need to be paid because I'm looking for a job. I don't have money. So and that's how Kimani Brooks started. So Kimani is my dad's last name. He passed on, and Brooks is my husband's last name. The dad's last name.
Yeah.
So I started there and I was like, these are the two people that I loved in my life. And I was like, Kimani Brooks Consulting. And that's how Kimani Brooks Consulting, the name came about. And so what we do PR and marketing. And then we also do media relations. We do media reputation. And that's how I started it. And then also to kind of promote my husband, because at the time he's a hydrogeologist and he works with different clients in town, and I wanted people to know about that side of it, the environmental side of it. So he's like, hey,
you're a client too?
He's a client. I said, hey, you need to be my client, so you need me to get the name out, because he's very shy. He's one of those. He's a nerd on his job. Like he forgets about the other marketing aspect of it,
and that's why.
So we go somebody like, oh, I know Angela does, but your husband is what? He does what? I'm like, what is hydrogeology? I'm like, oh, it's groundwater modeling. It's the study of groundwater and all the things. And so I started putting that out there, and I created the website and the business.
Was he your first client?
No, my first client was Star Nursery. I was still working with Star Nursery.
Really?
And then also, and also my other client was Las Vegas Pharmacy in town. And then at the time I got connected with Anna from Via Brazil Steakhouse, so she came in as a client. So I started, I was like, building. And then also with nonprofits, I got a few, I was working with Miracle Flights, you know them. So they help families who have children going through terminal illness, help them with, if they have to travel from Las Vegas to a different state for transportation flights and accommodation and all the things. So they work with airlines to do that. And I was still working for St. Jude's Hospital as a fundraiser. So that is like my baby. We are going into 10 years, 11 years this year.
Okay.
So we founded that back
With Kimani?
No, before Kimani.
Oh,
So I
that
was
was
doing all the
before
things,
Kimani.
yes. So with the collaboration, so I was like, oh, these are things I can bring under my, my wing, that to show people that I do actually have experience in nonprofit, not just business.
Yeah.
So I can do for profit and nonprofit.
Yeah.
So that's all became, and that's what I've been doing, and helping people. If you want to, share their ideas out there, share their story, and what is your brand? How do you want your brand to be represented? And also, if you're a nonprofit, which people are you trying to reach? And also, for me, when I work with nonprofits, I love the foundation part of it. Not just, I love to learn about where you
How
start.
they become the way they are.
How strong is your foundation? Because if your foundation is not strong and you're trying to get to, a different amount of money, and you're not really strong down here with your foundation and all your policies and everything that needs to be done, then it doesn't work. That's why you see a lot of nonprofits when they start new ones, and they maybe last 1 or 2 years, and then they're not.
You've been in it so long.
Yeah. So when
everything.
so when somebody asks me, could you come and help me with this? I love to learn. Let's open the carpet. What's under there? What are we looking at? Let's start there. Clean that up. Because if I'm asking for that, a donor will. If you're asking for $1 million, 50. For me, when somebody's saying, "I want $1 million," so I tell people, a donor is a donor. To me, it doesn't matter if they give you $1. Or if they give you $10 million.
Still.
Because it's something that they're giving out of, they needed, but they're giving you something. And from that, they want to see, where is their dollar going to? Where is that $1 million going to? So what kind of nonprofit are you, and where are you putting your money?
I love it. And you're not just a PR firm. I mean, you are such a group of things that a lot of the adjectives that I can say. But
we can say I wear a different kind of hats, that's something I had to learn when I started my company, because I reached out to people, and I would meet people. I would go to networking, because I'm like, I have to go network and to introduce myself. And some people that I've known in the industry, they know what I'm doing, and I'll reach out to them, say, hey, this is my new company, if you know somebody. And I will tell you, the first year was the hardest. I know the first year of your company is building your company. You learn the do's and don'ts, but it makes it harder when you have colleagues that you feel like you can count on, and they can connect you somewhere. But every time you meet somebody, they pretend they don't know what you do. And it started getting a toll on me, and I got being asked, oh, I see you everywhere. You're everywhere. And I said, yes, I am. And it came to a point I was like, you know what? I should stop feeling bad about that, because it's my business.
A great thing.
Yeah, I'm everywhere, because when that question comes about, I say, yes, I'm everywhere. I'm where I'm needed.
Good.
I'm where I'm supposed to be.
Yes.
And
I like that.
I am where I'm supposed to be, because you don't know why I'm there. And I know why I'm there.
But
do you know why you're there?
I love that you mentioned that, because most of the time whenever I tell somebody, oh, you're everywhere, it's not, I don't say it in a bad way. I say it, I'm like, oh my God, how you do it? Please tell me the secret.
There's a different to say that.
Yeah.
But then there's also another different when it's the same person keep asking you the same thing. You're like, come on.
We already talk about this.
Yes. How many times do I have to tell you what I do? How many times do I have to let you make me feel guilty about something that I love doing? But once you start building I start building boundaries. And I'm like, okay, and then if you want something from me, you do know I have a business. Now,
there you go.
Consultation, I charge this amount, because before I would give free consultation. And the consultation would be like an hour or two. And within those 2 hours, I've given you so much, good advice and good, things to take back to your business. But then you don't give me the business. So now when you come back and I say, I do charge, and you're like, oh, I did not know. Like, yeah, it's a business,
Right. And then that just means sometimes that people are not as serious when it comes to making business with you. And I think that's very powerful. But I like that you transform that you're everywhere into an actual good thing, right? And in your own self, right?
Yeah.
And I feel that because you are PR,
Yeah.
you better be everywhere.
I better be,
But you better be
and,
everywhere.
in the right rooms.
In the right rooms.
Yes.
And I like that you added that, because yes, you're everywhere where you're supposed to be. But the other thing that you said very, very clear is that you also saw yourself as the power connector that we were talking about,
Yeah.
but also you were dimming your light
I
for
was.
just because you were worried about certain things. And how did you transform that person that you were when you were dimming your light, or maybe not understanding the rooms, to what you are now?
So what happened was I kind of sat down about this past year, also the year as I was growing my business. I'm like, okay, so what do I really want? Where do I really need to be? And what kind of people do I need to connect with?
So you asked those questions
For
to
myself.
yourself. I like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
And then I sat down and I did the pros and cons. Like, okay, I am going to I'm a member on these different, memberships that I'm paying out of pocket. And then I go and I'm like, for this membership, what have I gotten out of it? It's been 6 months, it's going to a year. What have I gotten out of it?
Those analysis,
Yes,
right?
analysis to myself. I'm like, okay, what am I getting when I'm going there? Apart from I'm paying my dues every month to go, and I get a drink sometimes, or sometimes even though my dues, I still have to pay for my drinks or my appetizer or anything. Am I only there to give cards? And I'm like, I don't want to be there for cards, like, give me a card only. Yeah, so I started not giving cards. I even though I have them, I would listen. I'm like, why do I need to give that person a card in my mind? And then if I gave you a card, I would be like, I reach out to you like, hey, I start that conversation. Hey, we met here, and I want to learn a little bit about your business. There's my business. How can we collaborate? And then finding out sometimes people are just taking cards. They don't call you. They don't say anything. But then you see them doing something that they asked you about with somebody else that you do the same kind of business. It kind of hurts a little bit.
Yes.
You're like, then why did you ask for my opinion? Why did you ask for this? And made me spend all these hours doing, creating this thing for you with the hopes of a business coming in, but it doesn't. So I started creating the boundary. And then now it's not, I look at it, I'm like, do I really want to, which people do I want to work with? So you can
it's really filtering that, right?
Yeah, filter.
So you have such a fast filter whenever you go places that is like, do I want to connect with you, or
I will
just
listen.
move on?
I will listen. I'll go back, and then at home, and I'll take a couple of days, and I'll go like, okay, so when I went there, what did I do? Okay, what is this? And then what kind of conversation did we have? Was it a rush conversation like, oh my God, yeah, hi, yeah, we should do business. Oh my God, I love what you do. Here's my card. But
but that's it.
That's it.
And you want
But
there
I'm like,
to build that relationship, and she's not the right person.
Yeah, but then you start to learn about yourself. I'm like, that's not the right person. Maybe those acquaintances are not bad, because when you meet them somewhere, you can have a conversation, and something can strike out of the conversation like, oh, good to know.
Yeah,
I can go tweak my stuff that I'm doing something, but it's now more of when I'm going somewhere, it has to be intentional. I have to be intentional for also about my time as well. And also the membership. So I went in and I canceled all the memberships that I had. And some of the memberships were upset with me. Why did you cancel? I said, because I'm not getting it.
The return on
the
investment,
is not there.
ROI.
Yeah, it's not there. The ROI is not there. And I am a small business and I need to grow. So I am taking a pause. I want to re-examine everything and start to know where do I need to go at this point of my life and where my business is going.
I feel that we need a part 2 of this. This is not fair. I think 30 minutes is not enough to talk to Angela Brooks, because there is so much that we can be talking about.
Oh, there's
especially
more.
when it comes to PR. I feel that what I learned from you today is that you definitely build, and I always talk about personal brand as a very powerful tool. You build such a beautiful and powerful personal brand that people come back to you, and you never start from zero, really. Whenever you move on into another business or you move into a new adventure, you never start from zero. And I feel that that is also such a powerful tool that we should learn from Angela, because being in PR is not easy.
No.
You have to be with so many people that are in the market, right? So they're like bombarded with so much stuff, but you are so intentional in how you move your pieces. And I know that firsthand because I was actually one of the people that she connected with through an email.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, we knew each other, but also the way you move the pieces in order to make things happen to me was impressive.
And you have to know your niche, because I know my niche in PR and marketing and the things I want to do. Because there's a lot of PR companies and ladies and friends that I know in town, but we all do almost similar, but we don't do the same. Mine is completely different, but there's also room for everybody to grow, like, you know. So I know where I stand, and when I do things, it's not about the followers. Like, it's about the messages. How am I intentionally doing my thing? I could have in my Instagram 15 followers or something, but that doesn't bother me.
No.
And somebody else could have 2,000, a million followers. But my messaging is different from her messaging. And I'm trying to reach a different clientele and share my story in a different way, and my brand and my client's brand in a different way. And it's about building. You don't, you know, like they say, God didn't, about building something in a month or something.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're saying. I just cannot repeat it. But yes, but I feel that it's so true. It's like it's something that you build throughout the years.
You have to build it, and every year, even if every 6 months, I sit down and I look at it, and I'm like, okay, what can I change? How can I better myself?
Yourself.
Yeah, how can I reinvent myself? And how can I also, as I'm reinventing myself, my clients, how can they help them pivot in different ways? It might not be a big pivot, but they, you know, those little plant, you know, like things you're planting, they end up growing, and without knowing, one day you're like, oh my God, look what we got.
Look what happened.
Yeah. And it's because of the foundation.
Yes, but she goes back to the foundation.
It's the
because
foundation.
There's where everything is.
Yeah.
But you know what, Angela, I really want to invite you back and talk more about what PR is and what it means for people like us. That you know, and how we can implement all those tools. And I really think that this is going to be such a start of something really, really big. I love it. I love learning from you, learning from your experience. So thank you so much for your time. How can people find you?
So if you're looking to find me, you can give me a call. My number is 725-318-3976. Or you can also find us at KimaniBrooks Consulting on Instagram, and also Angela Brooks on LinkedIn, and also on our website, KimaniBrooks.com. And you can send us a message there. And on the website is the best place to go, because you get to see all the clients we work with, all the testimonials, which are always a good thing that I love.
Beautiful.
And then we have a contact portal where you can reach out to us, let us know how we can help you or direct you to the right person in the community.
I love it. Angela. What a pleasure. Next time, Angela was so sweet, and she brought me a little bit of limoncello.
Oh, yeah.
It's delicious. So next time we're bringing a whole bottle of limoncello. We're going to have a 1-hour podcast so we can talk about more of what you do and everything that you can bring
and we can
into
also
the table.
touch on to, you know, the nonprofit part of it, because I know you are interested in that.
Yes.
I would love to share some of my
so many things.
ideas
I love it.
Things that I've learned for anyone that's listening that is in the nonprofit part.
Let's do it. It's on.
Yay.
All right.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Angela. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening. Don't forget that the magazine is out. She Means Business Magazine.
Yay.
March issue. It's March and April, so go check it out. We have 3 powerful women in the cover, and you cannot miss everything that is inside of the magazine. It's amazing, powerful. So SheMeansBusinessMag.com. My name is Jacqueline Andrea, and this is She Means Business, the podcast.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching. See you all in the next episode of the She Means Business podcast. Hasta pronto.